So we'll zoom in. The areas in the red box, it includes Clara State, Hyde Park, Spring Valley, Pike Creek, North Star, Hockessin. You're under that Walnut Ridge as well. Some of the highways, 82, 41, 34, let's see here, 2 as well as 7. Looking at that rain-wrapped potential here for a tornado. So there is some spin in the atmosphere with this. Not as much as what we anticipate to happen for Friday, but we have tropical moisture. There is a boundary in place, and the winds have begun to pick up as well. So once again, we have that rotation happening already, even before the remnants of Debbie even arrive, Kathy.
Absolutely. And as we can see on radar, I'm going to walk back over the key wall here, and you can see there's 3 different areas of precipitation that we've been watching, some heavy rain bands that have created this flooding. And if we could switch it over to our radar source, and you can see this is Route 7. This is extremely heavy rain. We're talking about rain rates between potentially 2 and 3 inches an hour. So Heather Valley along 7, 34, just to the west of the Cedars, this is our rain-wrapped storm here, our potential tornado. And once again, this is moving to the north at about 30, 35 miles an hour with very heavy rain. So torrential downpours, potential for damaging winds with this potential tornado as it moves toward the north. And Scott, if we could widen out just a little bit, and we'll talk more about these towns. North Star is on the edge of this, Heather Valley, Route 41. Hockessin is involved in this warning as well. And all of this is obviously moving to the north. If you follow that trail of shear highlighted in blue, it takes you right to that area. So this is the discrete cell that is potentially a rotating thunderstorm, a Doppler radar indicated tornado in the northern part, the northeastern part of Newcastle County, Delaware, and some of that heavy rain right now is moving toward Route 1 in Chester County. But right now, tornado warning until 7:30 this evening, Newcastle County, Delaware, and here is your potential tornado moving toward the north at 35 miles an hour. And Scott, we're talking about this torrential rain. So if anybody is in this area, or if any friends that are heading toward Hockessin, if they're from that area, please let them know there's a tornado warning that's in effect. And of course, that rain is falling at such a high rate. It's a type of situation where you shouldn't even be on the road. All of this is lifting toward the north. The heavy rain is moving into the southern part of Chester County. Chester County under a flash flood warning. There has been heavy rain there earlier throughout this afternoon and early evening, and additional heavy rain from this potential tornado warning is moving toward the north into Chester County. But right now, that tornado warning in effect until 7:30, and that is for northern Newcastle County. This was detected just to the east-northeast of Newark, Delaware, just within the past 15, 20 minutes or so. It was a severe thunderstorm, a very heavy downpour associated with that storm that showed some rotation, and that is why the National Weather Service put out that tornado warning. Now, if you are in this neighborhood, please just go into interior room of your home, away from the windows. Preferably a basement is also a great idea, and wait until this storm passes. Anybody that's going to be traveling in this area, give them a call and let them know not only is there a tornado warning, but obviously there's potential for additional flash flooding. In Newcastle County, earlier this evening in the late afternoon, we were hearing about roads flooded and even some car rescues. So Scott, we can't emphasize enough the seriousness of what's been going on in the northern part of the county throughout the afternoon and the evening, and now with this potential tornado warning, that's just an additional threat to everybody stay in and hunker down.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just adding insult to injury. We have that very heavy rainfall. We've been keeping tabs really the past several hours in Newcastle County, Delaware, for that very heavy rainfall. Live look there showing some of the roadways in and out of Newcastle County with some of that heavy rainfall. It's lifting on to the north at about 30 miles per hour. Once again, there is the potential for a little bit of spin in the atmosphere, so potentially a rain-wrapped brief tornado is possible, and that's why we're on the air right now until 7:30 for sections of Newcastle County and Delaware. So as we switch sources, let's go back to our maps, and you can see that area, the red box, those are the cities and towns where we still have that active tornado warning in effect until 7:30. We also have a flash flood warning until 7:45 for sections of Newcastle County. So we'll kind of zoom in. Walnut Ridge, Yorkland, Hockessin, you need to be in your safe zone. Heather Valley, North Star, keeping tabs on that severe weather. Now take a look at this. We've been keeping tabs on the Doppler radar estimates for the past several hours, and take a look at this bullseye through sections of Newcastle County. Where you see that red, where you see that fuchsia, that is where we have seen, I would say, 5 to 7 inches of rain. So take a look at this. I mean, we're talking about dangerous conditions. There have been some high water rescues in this particular area. I'm going to query some of these amounts between Bear and Christiana. Look at that. We're talking about 6 to 7 inches of rainfall. So we're getting some new information into the Weather Center, and I believe we have what, Kathy?
From our producer, Megan just said a confirmed tornado in Pike Creek. Megan, is that correct?
Located over Pike Creek. We're near Newark, moving north at 15 miles per hour.
Okay, located over Pike Creek, moving north at 15 miles an hour. Was that something, a ground truth, a report that someone actually saw the funnel cloud or the tornado?
That's confirmed tornado.
Okay, so we're getting... Okay, no visual yet on that, but from our control room, we're hearing that the tornado has been confirmed in the vicinity of Pike Creek, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that for any additional information. Many times there are reports that someone sees
So here's Pike Creek. Yeah, I'm zooming in on Pike Creek. That's between 7 and 72. Manette Heights, Hyde Park, Spring Valley, North Star, you're all in that area, that zone for that potential rotation and potential tornado. So information is coming in. Let's put the radar back on here so we can see what we're watching with regards to the heavy rainfall and what's going on. So there's clearly been a history of some shear. That's that blue that you see really going from south to north right through the middle of Newcastle County. There's also been multiple reports of some high water rescue. So I'm going to just query some of these markers here just to see what it's saying. Flooding on Route 4. Let's see what else we have here. We'll query some of this activity back to just to the south of Newark, and we're keeping tabs on multiple reports just kind of coming in. The Christiana River has some minor flooding, has reached minor flood stage there. Let's see, also around the Red Lion area, it said numerous vehicles stuck in waters between the communities of Kirkwood and Red Lion, along with some water rescues. A trailer park was also being evacuated in this area. So once again, we're keeping tabs on flooding as well as the threat for potential tornado. There have been some confirmations, I believe, coming into some of the chats that we follow here. So we're just kind of keeping tabs on that. Let's see here around Walnut Ridge, Hockessin as well. Very heavy rainfall. This is lifting to the north at about 30 miles per hour. So once again, we're on the border of Newcastle County and Chester County as this is lifting on off to the north. There's that report. Let me query this between Pike Creek, the Cedars, and Avalon. So this is a report that just came in.
Yeah,
it says two independent reports from a train spotter and fire department of a tornado on the ground near the intersection of Route 7 and Kirkwood Highway near the Kirkwood Plaza Shopping Center. Debris lofted into the air and some minor damage reported.
And that's what usually happens. I mean, when you have a Doppler radar indicated tornado, when there's any type of confirmation, it's typically a trained spotter, a skywarn spotter, who actually sees the damage or actually sees the spin, the tornado, and that's how it gets confirmed. So great. Thank you, Megan, in the control room, for that information early, and there's the confirmation from the National Weather Service. So if you follow that trail, and Scott, I'm going to step in front of that if you can show the shear trail again. If you follow the trail that we've been watching of that spin, it's a great indication, and obviously that spin has led us right to Pike Creek. So if you look at that little indicator, you can see how that shear led us all the way to that exact point. So the confirmation was between Arndale and also Pike Creek, just to the east of Newark, and that's exactly where that shear tracker is taking us, where there was confirmation and someone actually saw the damage done and the tornado on the ground. So all of this is lifting toward the north, and if we follow that, let's take a zoom in right to that point, Scott, because that's the area that we're talking about. We're looking at Spring Valley Route 41 and also Walnut Ridge, Route 82, Hocassin obviously in there as well as Yorkland. So if you live in anywhere in this area to the north of where that damage was, this is the area that potentially you could see a tornado coming through your neighborhood. So once again, we're following this northward near the Cedars, heading to the north toward Hyde Park. So if anyone lives in this neighborhood, if you have any friends in the area, please give them a call and let them know that a tornado warning is in effect, and there's a potential tornado. 2 independent reports from a trained spotter in a fire department of a tornado on the ground. It's very rare that we have these eyewitness reports of a tornado on the ground, so clearly we have to take this seriously. Seek shelter immediately. Go into an interior room of your home, the basement, away from the windows, and wait until this storm passes, because we have ground truth. So it's no longer just Doppler radar indicated. It's 2 different people that are trained to spot severe weather who have seen this tornado on the ground and have seen the damage. So we were told it was in the Pike Creek area. We have the confirmation from the Weather Service and the trained spotters, and now the area we're worried about is as this moves northward at about 15 miles an hour, that has come in from the Weather Service, that it's a slow mover, hopefully dissipating, but nevertheless the area just to the north of Pike Creek is an area that we're concerned about. Scott, can we take a zoom back into that area again, because we have this warning until 7:30 and we're closing in on that time. We have about 4 minutes left on the warning, so we'll see if that is extended by the National Weather Service or if it is allowed to expire. So as we take a zoom in, you can see the area of concern right heading in toward Hocassin near 82. Some streets in that area: Sharpless Road, Highland Meadows, Ashland, also Pond Drive. This is the area, if you know anybody that lives in that area, make sure they seek shelter and wait until this dangerous storm passes. So it is quite unusual, Scott, to see that, to have those eyewitnesses, 2 separate people actually see that tornado on the ground. So that's pretty significant, especially when you consider the rain rates in this area are probably about 2 to 3 inches an hour. So it's absolutely pouring in this storm, potentially rain-wrapped tornado as it moves northward. So potentially doing a good deal of damage aside from all the rain associated with the storm. And you can see that shear marker pretty much slowing down here, which would be good. That would indicate that that spin is dissipating. But right now, that is the area that we're looking at right there.
Yeah, I mean, just an incredible rainfall in this particular area. So we did that query and we were looking at some locations 6 to 7 inches of rain. So that's why we were saying, like, really it's somewhat of a 1-2 punch. You're dealing with the flooding and you're also dealing with the potential for the tornado. As far as that warning, we still have a few more minutes to go. It is until 7:30 for sections of Newcastle County and Delaware. We're going to see if it's going to be allowed to expire. We'll do a little query here on it and just kind of see what the latest particulars are with it. There is a little bit of lightning with it. So once again, Newcastle County until about 7:30, we have that particular warning in effect.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we continue to watch this, we're looking at potential too of things winding down here. Now, we just got a report from the National Weather Service that they expired the tornado warning for Newcastle County. So we're going to read that. Just keeping an eye on this. It says tornado warning expired. So that is good news.
And it does not look like they're going to issue one for Chester County at the time being.
Yes, if they do, we will definitely be the first to let you know, because we're watching this. Just want to take one more zoom in into this area, and you can see the cell moving north. We talked about how that shear, that blue marker, kind of trailed off near Pike Creek, and that spin doesn't seem to continue as the precipitation goes from Hocassin and goes into parts of southern Chester County. So it appears as if the National Weather Service is going to allow this to expire expire a few minutes early, and that threat is going to be expiring as well. So that's the good news. It will stay obviously a dangerous storm in the form of a potential severe thunderstorm as it moves into Hocassin and into southern parts of Chester County. So
very heavy rainfall too. So there's already been flood concerns. The flash flood warning continues for parts of that area until 10 o'clock this evening. Our Chris O'Connell is going to be on the ground on the news tonight at 10 and 11, kind of assessing some of the flooding, some of the damage that's coming in. There probably will be some damage to some homes, maybe some trees down, and we're going to bring you all of that tonight at 10 and 11.
And this is not even associated with Debbie. The remnants of Debbie come through tomorrow afternoon and potentially bring us additional threats of severe weather, including tornadoes. Thank you for joining us. We're going to return you to our programming on Fox 29. If anything else happens severe, we'll be the first to let you know. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tonight on Fox 29 News beginning at 10.
Stay safe.